Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be making a Copic art and I'm very excited about this because lately I haven't been using my Copics or Copics as some people like to call them as much, and I really felt the itch to get out my markers and just make a very cute aesthetic little illustration. And I was slightly inspired by a previous marker artwork that kind of failed a little bit, and then I ended up fixing it up as a digital illustration. But I really wanted to go back and just do another sort of garden-y artwork and paint it, or not paint it, but draw it with the Copics and use some pencils and all of that good stuff. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. This is going to be very fun. So you're probably wondering, Sarah, you're talking about doing a marker artwork and yet I can see digital on the screen, and that is because I'm actually going back to an old method that I used to do quite often, and that is where I would sketch and ink sort of like an artwork and print it out and then use markers over the top. I really love this technique because it just helps me explore sketching in a different way than you do on paper, and I feel like I have a little bit more freedom this way because digital is definitely more flexible. You can liquefy things and you can move stuff around a lot easier than you can on paper. And of course there is that lovely undo button and erase button which you can use on the ink, which you can't really do on paper with ink unless you have specialty ink, the friction ink that disappears with heat. But I don't have anything like that, and I'm not even sure if markers would work with that kind of ink. But anyways, I actually recently got a new printer which is going to be very useful for me for also doing stickers and stuff, because I've been without a printer for quite a while because my last one stopped working and turned into a brick and that's why I haven't done stickers in quite a long time, but I am excited about getting back into that. But I can also print out my line arts now, and I don't have to get it printed somewhere else. I can just do it at home, which has been very amazing and I'm really enjoying using that printer as well. It is the Epson ecotank variety, so I have these little ink bottles that fill up the tank. It's very great for saving a lot of ink, especially if you're going to do stuff like stickers later on. But anyways, let's talk about this artwork. So I was very excited to get into this, and I was very slightly nervous because I have not used markers in quite a while. I have been exploring other mediums, especially paint and ink lately, which I've been doing for most of October, even though that's over now. And I definitely didn't do ink every single day for October because I just feel like that's a lot of work. And yeah, but I had a lot of fun with that. But I really wanted to get back into my markers and pencils, sort of a mixed media style. So as you can see here, I have masked off the edges just mainly because the printer printed obviously with a slight border, so I thought might as well keep that, it'll look cute at the end, and I just used some cute washi tape. And now I'm just going in with all of the colors, and I'm just subtly adding flat colors at the moment because I really want to build this artwork up in layers. So as you can see, most of the colors here are pretty light. The pumpkins are just a pale yellow at the moment, but they will be a bright orange later on. I just really want to build up those colors to get that saturation really nice, and some nice little highlights in there as well. And as you can see, the green of the leaves are a very light green, but they will darken up later. And yeah, it's definitely best when working with markers to go from light to dark, because you can definitely darken things very easily, but lightening them up is a completely different story. And if you want to see more on that, check out my old video where I tested out some Officeworks markers and I had that exact problem. But no problems here today. As you can see, we have some nice subtle colors here. The blending in the sky is a little bit patchy, and that's mainly because I used a light blue which was running out and I didn't have the ink for it, so I just put a little bit of color blender in there, which definitely makes the marker more juicy, but you end up with a like color that starts to lighten. And it started off very dark and then ended up very light, but I feel like that kind of helped me to build that gradient. And if I didn't do that, I would be limited in the colors that I have, because I really need to sort of restock my sort of marker, not only just markers, but I kind of need to buy more inks as well. But that's not going to be too much of an issue, because I'm going to use this marker here as a sort of first layer, and then when I start like blending, I'm going to move on eventually to pencils to go over the top and just fix little details here and there, maybe refine the line art and add other colors to the line art. I'm going to fix the patchiness in the sky by using a sort of opaque light blue pencil later on, and I think that that's going to be very satisfying. But as you can see here, I'm just building up some layers. The pumpkins are getting nice and vibrant, and I added in some like oranges, and then I moved into some subtle reds and pinks to sort of push the vibrance of those pumpkins. And I'm also adding in some shadows to those leaves to sort of build up that definition and make them look more interesting and more refined. Now, I wasn't perfect with the usage of the markers, but that's okay, because I said before, we're just doing a sort of underpainting to add a nice base, and then I'm going to add more details over the top with my Prismacolor Premier pencils. And as you can see, we are doing that now with the leaves. I'm basically just going around and adding in that nice crispy line art, which is going to really help add more definition to those leaves and make them look nicer, because at the moment they kind of look a little bit flat and undefined. But once I add that dark green blue kind of color to the line art, and also adding like little veins in the leaves, the colors really pop and the contrast increases, and I think that they look really good at the moment. I was a little bit worried earlier with this artwork, just because I felt like the line art was disappearing a bit, and it just didn't look as crisp and defined as I like. But honestly, this is a trust the process and I knew for sure once I added in that pencil, it was definitely going to look a lot better. So I'm just going through with a light green and a dark green pencil, and I'm just adding shadows and highlights where I need them. I'm also refining those vines a little bit, because a few of those got lost in the dark brown of the sort of like supports for these pumpkins. And I'm also adding in some more highlights and shadows and just a little bit more depth into those pumpkins. I felt like some areas were a little bit too saturated, so I added in a sort of like a light brown color to tone that a little bit, and I also used a sort of reddish, warm reddish sort of color to add a bit of line art onto those pumpkins, and that really helped to solidify them and make them look vibrant, but not too vibrant. As you can see, I do like my colors nice and bright, but I also like to have a little bit of balance in there. I don't need every single color in full saturation. And these pumpkins are the sort of main focus of this illustration, so they are still more saturated than the rest of the artwork, but honestly, I really like how they're looking. Now I've just been going through with a dark brown and a black pencil to add a bit of texture to the supports for these pumpkins, the sort of trellis that I've designed here, and I really like the look of them. I like that it's sort of like rustic in a way. It's not perfect. You can definitely tell it's made out of like logs that have been tied together with some strong rope, and I kind of like that style. I think that this artwork's looking very cute, and if you haven't noticed already, there's a little grey cat sleeping on one of the pumpkins. I can't help myself. A lot of the time I need to add a cat into my artworks. I just think that it's really cute, and I felt like this artwork needed a cat. But anyways, this artwork is mostly done, as you can see, and I had a blast doing this. It was so fun and I love the results, and I just love drawing cute little gardeny scenes and sometimes adding cats in there. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please hit that like and subscribe if you did, and let me know below what you think of this artwork, and maybe if there's like a little story behind it. What's your sort of interpretation? I really love hearing your ideas. Hope you're having a lovely day. Please stay safe out there, and I shall see you, hopefully, in my next video. Bye everyone.